Is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great Thursday night, possibly Friday morning, depending on when I post this bad boy. But got the Flyers on right now, the Phils game coming up, a lot of things going down, and I just made a video there talking about Braden Mann to the active roster, Brandon Smith to the practice squad. Go check that bad boy out. But tonight, we've got the top 13 matchups. So whenever you're watching this, whenever it gets posted, love to hear your thoughts and truly appreciate you taking the time. But let's jump into this bad boy. Appreciate you guys hitting that like button, subscribing. We're going to go through and I'll show you on Thursdays from now on. I'm not going to do its own individual injury report. You're just going to get the updated injuries with the matchups because it does matter. So we'll talk about all of it as a whole. So you're ready for this Week 6 matchup with the Eagles and the Jets. And we'll start it off talking about that injury report. Then I'll give you the division standings, the stats and rankings for both teams, and then the depth chart and practice squad so you see what the both teams look like, and then my top 13 matchup. So let's go, baby. Jump right into this. We'll look at the Eagles. Some unfortunate news today. Jalen Carter did not practice. You see him added at the bottom there with a knee injury. Oh, boy. So tomorrow, we're going to be looking for that game status report. Who's questionable, who's out. That will be very telling. Maybe they're just giving him a little rest here. I don't know, but hey, let's hope he's all right. You see Darius Slay there. Did not practice again today. Tomorrow, if he is limited, okay. If he does not practice again, oh, boy. So we're looking at that one. Justin Evans didn't practice again because of a knee issue. It was his neck that it was hurting before when he missed the game. So but Justin Evans could miss his game as well. You got Fletcher Cox back at full capacity. That's great news. And Marlon Tuipulotu now limited today. So that is good, especially if anything's going on with Jalen Carter there. But then you can see Sidney Brown still limited, hopeful to play this Sunday. So, boy, we might need him if Justin Evans is out there. But you can see we've got a plethora of injuries there. Don't know if we'll bring back Nakobe Dean. He is designated return, but we shall see. But now on to the Jets. They had a couple changes, But you could see Nick Bowden did not practice yesterday. He was now limited. And then Michael Clemens was a full participant, now limited. Other than that, everything was the same for these guys. So Eccles did not practice again, and neither did Hardy. So 2 cornerbacks could be missing. They could look to elevate somebody from the secondary. We'll take a look at all of that stuff coming up here. But let's talk about these teams, the Eagles and the Jets. How have they been doing so far this season? 5 games in for both of them. Let's take a gander at their division standings here. And you've got the Eagles at number 1 and one of 2 remaining undefeated teams in the NFL at 5-0 there. Cowboys, Commanders, and Giants then following. But you can see for the Jets, it's a little bit different. 2-3 in third place, trying to make their way up. They've got themselves quite a tough division. So you can see that the NFC and the AFC East got 2 very competitive divisions, but I think we are going to handily take ours, whereas the Jets are going to struggle to even compete with the other 2. But yeah, you can see their record. Now let's take a look at how both teams have been doing. We'll look at their stats and where that has them ranked within the NFL. So take a look. And if this comes out tomorrow, remember, this is before the Thursday night game. So let's take a look here at these stats and rankings for the year. You can see number 5 in points per game, 2nd in total yardage, 10th in passing, 2nd in running. This offense is starting to click, baby. Middle of the pack, giving up sacks. We still need to shore up some areas there. Turnovers, getting better there. Top 10. Love it. This offense is rolling. The defense continues to get better, even with all of the injuries. So impressed by Desai. I think the media and fans are finally starting to see that this dude, I can't believe what he's been able to do with these injuries. Keep up the great work, but 13th in points, 10th in total yardage, 25th against the pass, but 1st against the run. You got to take all these numbers with a grain of salt here. Teams have been one-dimensional against us, have to throw the ball because they can't run the damn thing. Now, we're getting 3 sacks per game, which is tied for 8. Let's get that sack party going here. Interceptions per game, let's get those up. You can see tied for 10th, though, in total turnovers. Getting tongue twisted there with the total turnovers. So now you see the Jets on offense, 24th in points, 27th in total yardage. Clearly, Zach Wilson is not Aaron Rodgers, but you've got 32nd in passing, 11th in rushing. So going to try to make them one-dimensional, and it's going to be a tough time for them to get that offense going if you do that. Giving up 3 sacks per game, throwing an interception per game, 1.6 turnovers, that's not great. So this defense needs to be able to pounce on this offense. I think we can do so. Now, their defense, again, take all these numbers with a grain of salt, because this is still a very talented, loaded defense here. 21 points given up, that's 14th. You see 22nd in total yards, 14th against the pass, 29th against the run. So run the damn ball right down their throat, getting 2.2 sacks per game and then 1.8 turnovers. So that's good. Getting the turnovers, they've got playmakers there. So look, don't sleep on this team. Robert Saleh, he's going to bring the house to Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni, Brian Johnson and company. So I really think that we've got some good matchups here. So let's keep this train rolling and take a look at them here shortly. But let me give you an update of what both these teams actually look like right now, so you know what's going on heading into this. Now, some of the guys you won't see that are listed on the IR or some other reserves list. Isaiah Rodgers suspended for the Eagles, so he's there. But Bradley, Dean, Johnson, Juergens, Maddox, McPherson will not show up on that depth chart because of being on IR and the suspension there. But Nakobe Dean designated to return. He's got that 21-day practice window open, so he doesn't have to come back this week. When he does, he'll take up a roster spot. We'll see what the Eagles decide to do. And with some other injuries at corner, maybe we decide to hold it off for a week and save that roster spot with all the corners we have. We shall see. But Nakobe Dean, he will be activated here soon off of IR. But then we made a little change here to the practice squad. Man was elevated to the active roster, so we added Brandon Smith. If you want to know anything about Brandon Smith, or check out that show from earlier, it gives you all the updates you need to see there. Now, Braden Mann obviously signed to the active roster, took the place of Cam Juergens, who was placed on IR, so we already had an open spot, so nothing new there. Now, the Eagles can elevate 2 players for this game if they decide to do so. Here are the 16 players that they have in a plethora of injuries, so you never know which way they could go here. But you've got 8 on offense, 8 on defense, as you can see there. But let's now take a look at this depth chart. You can see the offense and Sua Opeta filling in for Cam Juergens there, but everything else, this offense clicking. I continue to preach Olamide Zaccheaus needs more reps than Quez Watkins, and then I think this offense really gets things going. I like Quez, but I think it just needs to be flipped. A few snaps for him, Olamide being that third guy. That's my opinion, but there's the offense. Now you see the defense. I always show you the 5-man fronts with the nickel, so there will be 12 starters here. You can see I actually elevated Bradley Roby and put him into that nickel cornerback spot, just going ahead and taking a guess there, but I thought he did well. I would like to see him there again, but maybe they try some of these young men again just to see who actually needs to be on this roster, because we may have to let a corner go. That is a position we have a lot of guys at, but maybe not because of the injury. So we'll find out. But Roby may need to come on this active roster after 2 more elevations. But if Carter's out, you've got a loaded defensive tackle room. So regardless of injuries, we've got guys. Edmonds and Brown will have to step it up if Evans is out. So next man up. And then speaking of man now, the punter and holder. No, I don't even know how that happened. But anyways, you see here, no more elevations. He's actually just on this roster here. So that is what the Eagles look like. Now let's take a gander at the Jets. Again, they're reserves. You will not see these guys on the roster, but they have got some dudes on here. So they've got 10 guys on the IR. And then on the PUP list is Jarek Bernard Converse. So, they may have to elevate some guys with all the injuries. Elijah Vera-Tucker, we talked about the other day. If you missed Behind Enemy Lines, go check that out, breaking down everything about the Jets. They're right tackle now on IR, and they've been having to move pieces around. So you see 7 on offense. They just signed Dennis Kelly. And then on defense, they signed edge rusher Ellerson Smith there. So 2 guys one was with the Eagles, one worked out for the Eagles. So trying to do their best to come get some. Well, come and get it. Now, let's take a look at their depth chart here. And again, I put Max Mitchell in there at right tackle, but it could be Billy Turner. I have no idea what they want to do there, but they're going to have to figure something out. We talked about all the pieces they added. Anybody in black there is new to the roster this season. All those guys coming to play with Aaron Rodgers, and now he is on that reserves list. So unfortunate for them and the offensive line dealing with some injuries. This Eagles defense should be able to pounce on Zach Wilson and the Jets. Now their defense, baby. This thing is loaded, and when we get into this top matchups, it is fun because, oh my God. So a lot of versatility, but a lot of badass dudes that can make some plays, and we'll talk about all of these guys. They've got some injuries going on, as you saw. DJ Reed there, if he's out, and Hardy and Eccles have been missing practice, that is going to be very intriguing for them. Bryce Hall will have to step it up, maybe elevate someone from the practice squad, at Craig James or someone else. We shall see. Then the special teams area, everybody good to go here, but Xavier Gipson essentially being who they wanted Mecole Hardman to be. They gave him that money, and, well, he was inactive last week, so Gipson is holding it down as the return man and some offensive snaps. So we'll see if Hardman gets traded there or whatever. I see a lot of Eagles fans asking for him, but I just, I wouldn't mind a return man. I'll be real with you. So whatever, man, at this point, anything to improve, I am not against. But there is a look at both of the teams, so you know what they look like. Now you can decide what your top matchups are after seeing that, but I'm going to give you mine, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this. So whatever you got, if you like a matchup, you think it should be higher, lower, whatever's on your mind, let's effing go. We'll start it off with number 13 here, and it's not really they're going against each other, but I wanted to put this on here. Britton Covey and Xavier Gipson, two of the better return men in the league. And I hear people asking for, someone like Hardman or Gipson, but we've got a punt returner. Britton Covey holding it down. He is leading the league in punt return yards. He's got 11 for 186 yards. That's 16.9 yards per return. No touchdowns yet, but Gibson's got 10 returns for 137. That's 13.7 yards per return with a touchdown. Now, that just goes to show you how well Britton Covey's doing. He's doing better than him. So both special teams units need to step it up. They're one of the worst ones in yards per return. So Britton Covey will get you some. And the Eagles, we've been giving up some bigger ones too. We've been better this year, but still need to clean things up. Looking forward to the special teams in this game. Now at number 12, oh boy, the big boys in the middle of the Jets offensive line versus the Eagles defensive line. And you've got Jalen Carter, man. I hope he's all right for this game. 3.5 sacks, 4 tackles for a loss, 2 forced fumbles. Then you've got Jordan Davis, 1.5 sacks, 2 tackles for a loss, 1 forced fumble. Fletcher Cox got a half sack and a fumble recovery as well. So he's whooping some ass. They're giving up 2.2 sacks per game, 24th in the league. And, they're just not exactly great, giving up 123.2 in the run game. That's 11th. And then 160.4, 32nd in the league in passing. I'm sorry, 123.2 is their rushing per game. 160 is their passing, which is last. So 11th in rushing, 32nd in passing. But our big boys, we know how to dominate. Let's go get some. And we talked about them giving up those 2.5 sacks per game. You've got Hassan Reddick, who got 3 sacks in the last 2 games here. He's got 3 tackles for a loss this season. Sweat, 2.5 sacks, a tackle for a loss, 2 forced fumbles. Let's go. And your death pieces, BGDB, Nolan Smith, go get you some with your limited snaps. I'm ready to see these edge rushers go feast. We'll see if it's Mitchell there next to Becton, but we can go get some. 24th in the league in giving up sacks. I think it's time for the Eagles to go get some. Now at number 10, we've got the Eagles safeties versus Tyler Conklin and CJ Uzoma there. You've got Conk with 17 catches, 203 yards, 11.9 yards per catch, 0 touchdowns. But these safeties, obviously you're going to use your linebackers, all kinds of different things, but I want to focus on this. Zach Wilson trying to get it to these guys. Think they're going to be over the middle, deep, doing all kinds of stuff. I want to see Sidney Brown playing. Hopefully Evans is all right. But when you look at these safeties, Reed has 34 tackles. He has 6 passes deflected, 1 interception, and he's given up 17 out of 29 targets. He's got 197 yards given up and a touchdown. 58.6% when thrown at, and then 50% for Justin Evans when thrown at. He's given up 7 catches out of 14 targets for 91 yards and 2 touchdowns. But better in coverage, these guys have been. So these safeties doing well in coverage. Want to see them continue to do that. Sidney looked good. We were using him. Then he gets hurt. So let's hope that things turn around there. Now at number 9, Zach Wilson versus this Eagles D. And Zach Wilson, 61.6 completion percentage, 911 yards. He's got 4 passing touchdowns with 5 interceptions. Been sacked 14 times. This Eagles defense, man, giving up 247.6 yards per game. And again, take that with a grain of salt because teams really can't run. So they're going to be trying to pass. We're getting 3 sacks per game, though. Let's get more. Let's get 6. Let's get 8. Let's destroy Zach Wilson. Let's get a couple interceptions here. I think this kid is in for a tough going. I'm talking 8 sacks. I'm talking 2 interceptions. Let's go whoop that ass. Now at number 8, we've got ourselves Dallas Goedert, who stepped it up last week. And if you watched the show last week, I talked about last week was going to be a big game for him, and it was. This is another one where they've got some good linebackers, good safeties, and, Whitehead, 46.2% when thrown at. That's pretty damn good. But Adams, not so much. Tony Adams, he actually hasn't given up a touchdown, whereas Whitehead's given up 3, even though he's got a good percentage. So it's really weird. But I think Dallas Goedert, he can feast, whether it's inside, over the top, outside. I'm really excited about this game. I think Goddard could have another good one. And, now his stats sound a lot better. 21 catches, 205 yards, 9.8 yards per catch with a touchdown. So let's keep those babies going up. If you're a stat watcher out there, things could get easier for you. Now up next, big question mark. If Nakobe Dean comes back, is he taking someone's spot? Ooh, that's a conversation we have had. But right now, let's move it through. Zach Cunningham, 33 tackles, 1 for a loss, 1 fumble recovery. And he's 72% right now when thrown at. And Nicholas Morrow, 90% when thrown at right now. So you would think it'd be flip-flop, but take that all with a grain of salt. Morrow's got 21 tackles, 6 tackles for a loss, 3 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. Those 3 sacks all came in that one game. So, look, they're both playing well. It's a conversation we have had, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, who you think should start. But going to be intriguing to see how they shut these guys down. They've got some good running backs in Breece Hall. He has 54 carries for 387 yards. That's 7.2 yards per carry. Flip that, 2.7 yards per carry for Dalvin Cook on 36 carries for 97 yards. And not doing much in the receiving game. Either of them, they don't have touchdowns. Only 1 touchdown for Breece Hall in the run game. So they would like to get their backs going, but I think we destroy them, make them one-dimensional. Let's find out this Sunday. Now at number 6, let's hope Darius Slay is playing here. They've got Garrett Wilson, Allen Lazard, Randall Cobb there. And Garrett Wilson, 24 catches, 279 yards, 11.6 yards per catch, 2 touchdowns. Lazard's got 13 catches for 202 yards. That's 15.5 yards per catch with a touchdown. So, look, they've got some good receivers, but we talked about that quarterback. If we're putting him on his ass and we know what's going on here, I think it's going to be tough going for him. I'd like to see Roby in there for the Eagles, but we'll see if they give Ricks and Goodrich some more opportunity, maybe Job. So, going to be fun to see how the Eagles move things around. But whoever it is, I think they can shut him down. Now, Darius Slay, he's had his issues this year. Maybe that knee bothering him, whatever, but he's given up 24 catches on 35 targets for 290 yards, 68.6% when thrown at. James Bradbury, 11 catches on 19 targets, 116 yards given up, but 57.9% when thrown at. So he's doing pretty well. And, Roby last week, thrown at 4 times. He gave up 1 catch for 5 yards. That's 25%. So that's pretty damn good. Small sample size, but hoping the best for him. Really hoping, he gets another opportunity here. We'll see how he does there. But let's keep it moving into the top 5. Love to hear your thoughts on the other ones. But here at number 5, we've got Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata going up against these edge rushers. And I wanted to put Huff in there too because Jermaine Johnson II, Jonathan Franklin Myers, and Huff all are talented edge rushers here who I think are slept on in this league, especially Jermaine Johnson and Bryce Huff. So Huff continuing to show why he should get more and more reps. I think he's doing great here. But the Jets, we talk about it, they're getting 2.2 sacks per game, I think it was. Look, we need to just clean things up. We are giving up a few per game that I don't like. 2.4, I believe it was, tied for 15th. Lane continues to do his thing, but Mailata and the rest of the guys have had their issues. Let's shut these edge rushers down, but I think that's going to be a very fun matchup to watch. Now at number 3, you heard me say it earlier, or I'm sorry, number 4, run the damn ball. DeAndre Swift, let's go, baby. 76 carries, 434 yards. That's 5.7 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. He's got 15 catches for 75 yards. That's 5 yards per catch. Continue giving him the ball. Now, they've got some studs at linebacker in Mosley and Williams. Mosley's got 50 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, 3 passes deflected, an interception. Quincy Williams has got 48 tackles, 5 tackles for a loss, 2 sacks, 4 passes deflected, and a forced fumble. These guys, they are playmakers. We talk about it. They will take that ball from you. You better hold on to it. No turnovers here for the Eagles. Let's play clean football here. But they have two studs at linebacker, and they even have Sherwood, who's like a linebacker safety hybrid that, you could see him thrown in there as well. But let's get that run game going. DeAndre Swift over 100 yards, 150 on the ground and in the air together. Let's go. Now you can see at number 3, oh my, oh me, we got Quinnen Williams, Quincy's brother, and newly signed to their roster this season, Quentin Jefferson. Oh my Lord, he's a beast too. So you've got yourself two monsters here, and I think, they're doing well in the sense individually, but overall, we talk about it. They are 29th against the rush, 14th against the pass. This Eagles offense, 10th in passing, 2nd in rushing. There's no reason that these big boys should be able to go toe to toe with the Jets here. And, I really think that Quinnen Williams is one of the most slept on monsters in this league. I love the dude. And I think that, he's got a half a sack. And, if you're looking for stats, he got 3 tackles for a loss, a pass deflected, but that's not what you want to be looking for a guy like that. Just watch his game. He's a beast. But Opeta did well last week, filling in there for Cam Jurgens. Dickerson and Kelsey continue to do their thing. So let's hope that they can shut them down. Now at number 2, oh boy, this is going to be a fun one, baby. You've got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith against, probably one of the best trios in the game, if not the best, in Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, and Michael Carter III. Michael Carter the second there. But you talk about Sauce. He's actually right now giving up 73.9% when thrown at, 76.2% for DJ Reed, but 57.1% for Michael Carter the second. Probably the best nickel corner in this game. I think these three are very, very talented. Going to be fun to see how the Eagles use Brown and Smith, but also Olamide and Quez. I would like to see them factored in. A little more Olamide, though. But going to be some fun matchups, interchangeable receivers we have. We can move around. AJ right now, 35 catches, 541 yards, 15.5 yards per catch with 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns for Devontae as well with 23 catches, 290 yards, 12.6 yards per catch. Woo! This is going to be a heavyweight showdown, and I can't wait to see it. Now, the guy that needs to get him the ball, Jalen Hurts, baby. Number 1 here going up against this Jets defense. We talked about it. They're getting 2.2 sacks per game. That's not so great. Tied for 24th, 206.4 yards given up in the passing. That's 14th for them. So we can beat them in the air. Now, I want to continue running the damn ball, but Jalen Hurts, it all relies on him. Right now, a 67.3% completion percentage, 1,262 yards, 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's been sacked 12 times, but, running the ball, he's done well there. He's got 3.7 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. Mostly just sneaks, not going too crazy there, and I love that. Protect him, play smart here. Let's not, get too wild. And look, this team, again, you can't sleep on anyone, but the Eagles should be able to beat their ass. That's all. I'm just going to keep it real with you. They really should be able to. And, with them giving up that amount of passing, you talk about all we have to do is play clean football. Let's, obviously run the damn ball and continue to do what you do, but I think Jalen Hurts could have himself a day too, but protect him. They've got some studs on that defense. You look at every secondary, linebackers, the defensive line, there are studs everywhere. So got to watch out. Clean football, no stupid penalties, and we can win this damn game. But that is your top 13 matchups with everything else you need to know for this game. And I'll be back tomorrow or maybe later today if this is on Friday that I post it, whatever it may be. But you'll have your game status report at around 5 o'clock on Friday. And then, of course, Fan Friday Live, taking all your questions, comments, topics, whatever the hell's on your mind. Saturday practice squad elevations with the updated depth chart. And then any updates on the game status report, all that great stuff. Sunday pregame show. Let's go. But I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, hit that like button for me. You can always subscribe down below. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Hope you're having yourselves a great day, night, whatever it may be. But you all take care. Until next time, I'm Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. If you need anything, please feel free to reach out, whether you want to talk birds, life, whatever it may be. But I hope you all have a great rest of your day, night. Whatever. I keep saying it, and I don't know what it is, so whatever. Have a good one. Take care of yourself. Stay safe out there. And as always, say it with me now. Go Birds!